For this video, we're going to be discussing Illuminati predictions for 2019 and 2020. Some of these predictions I've already mentioned like a year ago, but I didn't really go into detail about them. And a lot of you guys asked me about these predictions, and considering that they're going to be happening soon, I decided this would be a good time to actually go into detail about how it's going to work out. My predictions is what separates me from other people's channels. So I know that there's other people that make like conspiracy theory videos and whatever, but no one ever makes predictions in detail about events that are going to happen, and these predictions are my best way of showing you guys that I really do know what's going on, and that none of this is a joke, and that this isn't all for like views or I'm trying to be like trendy or something. Like, this is really me trying to educate you guys and inform you guys on matters that are going to happen. The first plot we're going to talk about is Trump's fake assassination plots. And in other words, yes, their government and the Illuminati are planning to have him killed while he's on stage giving a speech. And this whole like thing is literally just a stage. It's just played out, it's planned. He's in on it, the security's in on it, the guy shooting him is in on it, and he's not going to actually kill him. It's just the media is going to lie and say that he was shot and killed. So him being assassinated is not actually something that would come as a huge shock to society, but it would still disrupt America forever. It would cause a huge issue, especially between the Democrats and Republicans, and it would just cause so much chaos, and it would also allow the government to pass certain security laws that would definitely start to infringe on human rights. I had made a prediction back in March in a video saying that eventually you guys are going to start going to schools, and instead of doors you're going to be having like metal detectors, and there's going to be security cameras everywhere, and there's going to be metal detectors everywhere, even in parks and libraries and all of these like locations. And I can definitely see this event as the way to forcefully push that into society. Around this time frame is also when America and the global economy is meant to like really crash down, and I'm constantly warning about this. I predicted this like a year ago, and I'm constantly trying to warn people and tell them that the economy is going to crash. And when economies crash, people lose their jobs, people become homeless. It gets really, really ugly in society. They can use the crashing of the economy as a narrative, as an excuse to have this person go up to Donald Trump and try to shoot him and blame him for why the economy is so, bad all of a sudden. Also, a little tip, a lot of you guys have been asking me advice on what to do when the economy crashes. The two best assets to technically buy when an economy is crashing or being completely revamped in this case is usually property and like precious metals like gold and silver. You can also buy a Bitcoin if you want. And speaking of presidency, the next prediction I'm going to get to, and this is something that I've been saying so many times over the last 2 years, is the next president is going to be a woman. The next official elected president will be a woman. She's going to be wearing a blue dress. It's like a suit dress combination, and she has very light hair. Her characteristics are going to be very strong-headed. She's going to be a very strong-headed woman. She's going to be young, and she's going to know how to like put people in their place that go against her. And just to prove to you guys that this whole thing is orchestrated literally like a soap opera, when you hear people on political news channels talk about who's going to be like the candidate that goes against Donald Trump, the news reporters and the journalists are always saying that whoever goes against Donald Trump, they have to be extremely tough people. They have to be very headstrong, because Donald Trump is very blunt, and he'll just like flat out tell you all the things that he feels about you and expose you for who you are. That's how he talks on stage. That's part of his character. So whoever goes against him needs to be just as headstrong as Donald Trump is, and just as blunt. This is why you see so much of these Me Too movements and so much of these feminist movements. A lot of these movements are actually not from society. A lot of these movements are actually paid and pushed by the actual government. They are doing this on purpose to have everyone ready for this woman that comes out of nowhere and tries to become the president of the United States. We had our first black president. Why not have our first woman president, especially after someone like Donald Trump was elected? Well, technically not elected, because your votes don't actually matter at all. If your votes mattered, the government would not even allow you to vote to begin with. So as interesting as this president woman sounds, she's still part of the Illuminati agenda. This whole thing is still planned and orchestrated. However, what's kind of terrifying is that I have no information or records of who will be there to replace her. There's no information at all for the next president of the United States right after her. Also, keep in mind that the Illuminati absolutely love to copy ancient Egypt. That's why so many Illuminati symbols are actually just ancient Egyptian symbols. And who was the last pharaoh of Egypt? Cleopatra. Just something to think about. The third prediction is not something I even need to predict, because I've been saying this for like the last 10 years, and that is humans are going to start getting chipped, and you guys are going to want to get chipped because they're going to make these like chip implants so desirable. Next female president of the United States is going to have the chip implant. Celebrities are all going to have the chip implant. Any public figures like famous YouTubers are all going to have these implants and these chips, and that's going to push society into wanting it as well. It's going to be like an iPhone. Everyone is going to have it. If you're the type of person that says, I don't care what anyone says, I'm not going to have a chip or an implant from the government inside of, you know, the back of my neck or the back of my ear or my head or my brain. Here's the thing. One, I always say this, and that is that anything that the Illuminati want to push on society, if they think that you guys are not going to agree with it, they always make sure they fantasize it. They take it, they put it in a nice beautiful box, and they put a nice beautiful ribbon on top of it. In other words, they know how to put things on a silver platter to make you eat it, even if it's a food that you normally would not have eaten. If the government came to you and said, we're going to put cameras and microphones inside of your house to listen to everything that you're saying, you would have been like, no. So what the governments do is they create things like the iHome and the Alexa, which are devices inside of your house that are recording everything. But you have it just because it's able to play you a song without you getting up and pressing the button all by yourself. In other words, you traded your freedom for probably 4 seconds of finger work. These chip implants are going to be extremely revolutionary for human history and human society, and that is because these implants can do so much stuff that you guys are not even going to fathom. These implants can allow you to actually record everything that you see and you hear after they're implanted. So let's say I get the chip, placed, behind my neck, which, by the way, it's not like this crazy surgery where they have to like open up your head and put it in. It's not like that. It's like this tiny, like they can put that inside of a needle and just go ding, and that's it, it's gone. You wouldn't even know it happened. These chips can record your memory, and you'll be able to literally replay things that you saw and heard after you got the chip implanted. So let's say you got the chip and then you went to like a concert and then the day finished and you're like, damn, like I met this really cool person and they gave me their number and I forgot it. You can actually like stop, close your eyes and replay that entire concert inside of your head, visuals and everything. If you guys have ever watched the Netflix series called Black Mirror, which I highly recommend you do, you definitely know what I'm talking about. This technology already exists. They just don't want to give to society just yet because anytime the government creates things, like creates a very high piece of technology, they never just give it to society. They use it for like 10 to 15 years, and then once they discover something new or something way better, then they give the old model to society. Like when iPhones first came out, everyone thought that they were like so cool having an iPhone, like it was the very first iPhone, right? But the CIA actually had tweeted out saying that they had these iPhones for like 9 years already. However, the problem with these chips is that one, they can actually control your brain, literally. Like the government can actually use these chips to send frequencies into your head to make you feel a certain way, to make you feel angry, to make you feel sad, to make you feel happy. And they can actually do this. And a scientist had came out publicly and said that one of his biggest fears about these chips is that people can actually hack into them and steal your memories and hold them hostage. Literally, this is actually possible. This has been tested in labs. The next prediction is the 5G towers. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking about that, and 5G towers are these new internet towers that the government is building all over the world. These 5G towers that the government is building all around the world are actually the gateway for these implants. And 5G towers allow a much larger bandwidth of internet data to pass through them. Let's say the internet right now is a highway, and everyone using the internet is a car on this highway. Right now, this highway doesn't really have that much traffic on it, right? The highway is big enough to support everyone in America all using the internet 24/7. Here's the issue. If everyone has an implant inside of their brain that's recording everything that they're seeing and that they're hearing, this all collects data. That all has to use memory. You know what I mean? Like this chip has to record everything that you're seeing and hearing. That's like using a camera on 24/7 recording. You know how many gigabytes of memory that is? So for them to store all of that data, this highway, this internet needs to grow tremendously. And the 5G towers allow that, which then sends that information to the government. Not only can the government see all of your memories with these chips, but they can even add memories, so they can make you think things happen and that never even happened. It's kind of like the Mandela effect in a way. Maybe it's already happening, who knows? I've told you guys before that the Illuminati's main goal is literally to become God. They want to control everything, and I literally do mean everything. This topic is very, very important, so I'll save it for another video where I actually really go in depth and explain how Google is actually controlling everything. The next prediction I'm going to be giving you guys is the fake alien invasion prediction that I predicted back in like March. And I said that there's going to be a fake alien invasion that's staged across the entire world. And this is not like something that says, oh my god, like that's so stupid, like why would they do it? No, this is actually written out. Like they've already planned this. Like I have documents for this. Why do you think America suddenly created a military space program? Military space program. Well, are we being invaded by aliens on a daily basis to actually put that much money into that? Also, it's not that hard to fake an alien invasion if you think about it. The government already has these amazing holograms that you can't even distinguish between real or fake with them. That's how realistic these holograms are, because they were like 4D. And not to mention also is that the government has a bunch of very secret high-tech military grade vehicles. So a lot of the times when you look in the sky and you see a vehicle that looks like a UFO, it's actually just a military vehicle, and their devices are so high-tech that to us it looks like it's aliens, but to them it's just basic technology that they've hidden and concealed from the rest of society. The next prediction, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, and that is that there's going to be a terrorist attack in the next Olympics in 2020 Tokyo, Japan. And this specifically I don't want to get into detail with because I don't want to be... just forget it. I know a lot of this information can sound like I'm screaming apocalypse or something, but it's not the end of the world. It's the end of an era. Right now, as a society, you guys are at the brink of this new era. You guys are standing at the edge of the cliff, and in about a year or so, you're going to be leaping off of it. My videos aren't meant to terrify you or make you depressed or discouraged about life and make you want to sit in the corner and rock back and forth. The point of my videos is to make you adapt, because in the end of the day, the physically strong do not actually survive. In the end of the day, the intellectuals do not survive. The ones that survive at the end of the day are the ones that adapt. I will also be uploading videos at a much higher frequency now, so instead of one video a week, I'm going to really try to upload a lot more videos than that because I'm starting to run out of time. If you guys have any questions, please leave the comments down below and I'll either respond to them there or I'll make a Q&A for the next video. I love you guys so much, stay safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.